So this is the final episode of 2023 of my podcast. Really, really weird to say that because, New Year is looming. It's only a day away now. I'm currently just sat here in my daughter's playroom. It's 9 o'clock at night. I've got a little lamp on recording this. She's in bed. And I wanted to put this episode out before New Year because there's loads of things that I just want to talk to you about. Obviously, New Year conjures up a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions for people. Some good, some bad, some positive, some not so positive, some that can be quite scary of all the uncertainty that the new year may hold, as well as the possibilities and opportunities. So I thought I would use this podcast as a chance to, I don't know, talk about these things and how we plan to deal with them going forward into the new year so that you have a bit of a plan of action really in regards to your business and yourself and setting some goals. But we could chat about how we can, do this, how we can get you moving forward by reflecting on your past year, looking at the impact of positivity on overall business success, and just giving you some actionable tips for business growth as well. And I'm also going to be talking about a few personal things and experiences that I've gone through to try and just help with, I don't know, this feeling of, motivation and determination that you can do this. You can make a success out of your business and your hobby and whatever it is that you want to do to make money from doing what you love, basically. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm currently sat in I've got a little lamp on. It's not quite in the dark. But, I've got a glass of wine because at the end of the day, it's New Year's Eve. So I'll try not to wrap it on too much. But I did need a glass of wine tonight. It's been a long day. So I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas, managed some time out to relax. However that might have looked for you. For me, I saw some family, which was lovely. I had a break from social media. My online shops and websites are still closed. I'm always a little bit nervous about keeping them shut for more than a week. But this time I needed a good 2-week break. It's been a difficult slog this year. So I really needed that space. So I've had, nearly 10 days now of no emails, which has been brilliant. And I've been hibernating pretty much, which has been really nice. And although we have all been ill in this family, and I've seen enough doctors and A&E departments to last a lifetime. But anyway, I wanted to squeeze this one last episode in before this year comes to a close because, now Christmas is over. I know that a lot of us can feel quite confused about, what's next. What is next for us during this period of limbo, isn't it, between Christmas and New Year? It's a really strange time. Nobody knows what day it is. Nobody knows which bin's going out. We got it wrong this week, as always. Everyone's just a little bit messed up, a bit confused. And I know for me, I'm always quite emotional during this time because I kind of feel a mix of emotions about what the new year is going to hold for me. And what the past year has meant to me, whether it's been good or bad, what I've fought or encountered and survived, all the good and bad stuff that's happened up to this point. And then I have these feelings of optimism about the year ahead and the possibilities, the dreams and the goals and what I want to achieve. And I feel like with the new year, yes, it's like a brand new slate, it's wiped clean so that you can rewrite your story however the hell you want. And even though it's actually no different to any other day in the year, it's just literally the clock ticking over, to another minute. It's a flip of a calendar. Nothing actually changes apart from the time and the date. But I just think there's something about the 1st of January that it's so positive, and the idea of it being a fresh start, it's another chance to just achieve those things that you dream of. And I think it's motivating and encouraging. And it just sucks you in a really good way into like committing to making some positive changes and being grateful because I don't know about you, but I always feel grateful at New Year, which is why I think I feel quite emotional as well, because I'm grateful to have the chance to go at life again for another 365 days, And I know that I've got this power inside of me to make things happen. So I've noticed that I've got a bit of an emotional pattern at this time of year, which is just how I seem to feel. As we move out of the Xmas period and all the festivities and everyone's together, having a great time and everything, is just relaxed and fun, into the new year where it's got all its possibilities, yet it's got a lot of uncertainty. So I've noticed that I go from feeling quite stressed just before Christmas to relieved, when I finish work and all the responsible stuff that you have to deal with as a small business owner is over. You can just turn your emails off. You can just relax, stop worrying. So then I get excited, about my time off with my family and my friends. I feel happy during the good parts of the festivities. And then for me, it's coupled with like a huge dose of sadness and anger as well. Lost loved ones that aren't with us at Christmas time. I end up feeling these like waves of grief that just like smack me from behind. They knock me over when I'm vulnerable. And it's normally around Boxing Day when that gets me. And that during, this time now, it's kind of waving off a little bit, not feeling quite so sad, but the emotions shift again and I start to feel, I kind of go upwards and I start to feel optimistic about the new year. It's usually around this time that I buy myself a new diary, which I've literally just ordered online yesterday. I'm really funny about my stationery. If anybody that knows me, so particular, it's ridiculous. I can go in about 20 shops trying to find the perfect diary, and if something isn't quite right, I can't plan my whole year in it, I just can't do it. So, I have to really look scrupulously for the right diary for me. So I found one online this year. I normally get them from TK Maxx, but there's a poor show of diaries this year. So I ended up going to a website online, got myself a really nice one. So that'll be here soon, which I'm excited about. And this is the time when I start to plan and write down my ideas, for world domination. This is it now. I've got another year ahead of me where I can achieve, X, Y, and Z. And that's what I want to do. And then New Year's Eve for me is just one of those nights, to be honest, I'd just rather get done with. And I think, it stirs up all the emotions again. Usually cry, not going to lie. I refuse to sing Auld Lang Syne because it just reminds me so much of everybody that's missing from the circle, when you link arms. I think about my mum and my grandmas and my aunties and the people that should be there and who used to do it with. And there's just really important links missing from that circle. And no matter how hard I try, I can never make it to the end of the song. So I just don't do it anymore. So normally, like this year, we're just going to go to bed. I'll just get a curry and go to bed. But New Year's Day for me is always really nice though. And I think for a lot of people, you can feel it's full of promise, it's full of optimism. We're starting the first day of a brand new year, all the what could be's. It could be the best year of our lives. And it could be the year that things massively change for us. So I always think the 1st of January is a lovely day and it's something that I always look forward to. And then the 2nd of January comes and it's like, how do you feel? For me, I feel a bit lost and a bit confused again. I don't know about you. I mean, if you've got another job alongside running your small business, you may be back at work. The kids are normally still off school, so it can be a bit of a juggle. Partners are back at work and you can be on your own juggling everything. And you're still not quite in that mood to get going. But for me, I feel quite scared and worried about these big or maybe small dreams that you've got, that I've got even, about the year. Thinking that, yes, this year is going to be my year. We put a lot of expectations on ourselves, both personally and professionally. We always do. We always think that, the new year comes and we've got to do this and we've got to do that, and we write it down and we have a list as long as our arm before we even hit the 2nd of January. And, all of a sudden we're just overflowing with expectations and wondering how we're going to manage it all. And you can feel quite overwhelmed. And at that point you may just say, oh God, I can't do it actually. I know there's always on my list, there's always like lose weight, make X amount of money this year, achieve this, achieve that, be a better partner, be a better parent. The list of what we want to do is endless. And you just end up feeling so overwhelmed. Say, before we even make it to the 3rd of January, we end up talking ourselves out of it and doing nothing at all. Or, maybe we'll do some of it, but only half-heartedly. So we're not actually getting the results that we want because we're just stretching ourselves too thin and it's not possible. So I thought we'd use today's podcast episode to look at this and, look at what it is that you want to achieve this next year more than anything. And we're going to look at just taking one thing, and I mean one thing only, and going all in on it. So I don't want you to have a list of like 5 or 6 things, that are your resolutions, or 5 or 6 things that you're going to achieve in 2024. I just want you to write down one thing that you really, really desperately want for yourself. And it's not to say that you can't or you won't achieve anything else. Those things may also happen if you've got the time, the energy, the resources left once you get where you want to be with your main priority. But by having just one thing only to focus on, you are much more likely to achieve it than trying to stretch yourself thin with everything else. So it might be that, your aim for 2024 is to quit your job and go full time with your own business. So maybe you're working at the minute in something that you're not happy with. We've got this goal to work for yourself, to turn your hobby into your business, into a fully fledged business that makes you money that you can survive on. And beyond that, that you can have a good quality and standard of living from. Or maybe, you're already running your own business and it's ticking over, but you just want to be making more money and you want to be growing. So I want you to write that thing down, and I want you to really, really go all in on it. So say you've written down, I want to grow my business. I want to take it to the next level. That is your commitment. So forget about losing the weight. Okay, don't go stuff yourself. If you really do want to lose weight, don't go crazy, have McDonald's every week, whatever. But that sort of thing can wait if you really want to put all your time and energy into the one thing that you want to achieve. So I'm going to do the same this year because I'm so guilty of overloading myself with expectations that just aren't achievable in my current lifestyle, with a young child and 2 businesses. I remember my English teacher at school, Mrs. Dean, she was called, and I remember saying that I have such high expectations of myself. Now, I must have only been about 13 at this time. And she said, you set yourself such high standards. You're a perfectionist and you've got to just not expect so much of yourself. And I'm still like that now at 40, and I'll never change. However, I'm going to try and scale it back so that I don't overwhelm myself in 2024, because there's so much to come for me this next year. And I'm just going to focus on the one thing that I want to do. So yes, I could do with losing a stone or two, exercising 5 times a week, eating much healthier than I have in 2023. I could also do with a good holiday and some time away with family and friends. And I want to hire a cleaner to keep on top of this bottomless pit of washing and tidying up in this house. But I know those things come at a price, And in order to achieve those things and the life that I want, I need to prioritise the one thing that's going to get me that over everything else, which is my business. I'm taking it to the next level, because the rest will come in time and everything will fall into place. But I know that I have to get my business to the place I want it to be in order to have the life that I want. So I've made the decision in 2024 that I'm going to scale down Vintage Twee, which is my stationery company that I've been running for 14 years. And I'm going to scale up Her Handmade Hustle, which is my business coaching, because that's what I want to do. I want to make that happen, and I want to make it happen sooner rather than later. So that is my commitment. And it's scary because, I've been doing Vintage Twee for a long time now, as you may have been if you've got a full-time job somewhere else and you're running your business part-time on the side. But I want to make that commitment so that I can make my other business more successful, quicker, and do it sooner rather than later. So whatever you've written down, as your main goal for 2024, commit to it. No matter how uncertain it might feel at this time, because it will be, you will feel uncertain about it. You'll be like, oh, what if I can't? All the what ifs start creeping in, don't they? What if it's not right? What if I do it wrong? It's just human nature. That's just what we do. We question ourselves all the time. But, no matter how uncertain that it may feel, in this very moment that you're here listening to me, you need to think in your mind that things only happen when you're actually doing them. So you can plan and plan and plan, but if you never start, it won't happen. It doesn't matter if you do it wrong. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is you're doing it because you're putting the wheels in motion. So you have to just start. Don't wait anymore. You've got to keep the wheels turning, even if you're not sure what direction that they're heading in. Just keep them in motion, because the minute you stop and you park up, that's when it gets hard to get going again. And starting or growing a business particularly, it takes stamina. I'm going to compare it a little bit to parenthood. If you want to keep your child alive, you can't give up. I remember when I had my daughter, I felt this overwhelming sense of responsibility. Like I can never, and I just couldn't decide like what I couldn't understand. This is it, this is it now, forever. Like I'm in charge of this person all the time. Like there is no break. It is 24 hours a day, day and night, you are on call. And it was terrifying. And I sometimes still feel like that now, and she's 4. And although no one's life is at stake with your own business, I have treated my business, Vintage Twee, in the same way, and I've had the same attitude towards it. There's no other option. This has to work, and I won't quit on it. And I haven't. And I believe that's one of the reasons why, I have succeeded and I've managed to sustain a lifestyle, for 14 years where I've supported myself and my family. Now, for me, the reason why I want to scale Vintage Twee down is because my interests have sort of gone in another direction, but I still want to be an entrepreneur, but I just want to help other people do what I did. So, you have to hone in and focus on that one thing that you really desperately want for yourself next year. So let's look how we can make that happen. So first of all, you've got to think about this past year in relation to what, you've chosen as your main goal for next year. So I'm going to use running a small business and starting one up as the example, since this is a podcast, for female entrepreneurs. And you've got to look at what's gone right for you last year. What have you achieved? What hasn't gone to plan? Or what set you back? What challenges have you faced? Write them down. Get a new notepad. I always have a new notepad for everything, Write them down. So what is it that you have achieved this year? Have you had a website built for your business? Have you set up a Facebook page? Have you done some market research? Have you got an Etsy shop set up? Anything like that. Have you made a sale? Even better. Challenges. What set you back? What have you not been able to figure out? What have you struggled with? Write them down, because it's really important to acknowledge your successes and learn from your setbacks. So for me, when it comes to Handmade Hustle, I've started a Facebook community. It now stands at something like 570 members, which is crazy. I didn't expect to get near 50 by Christmas, and I'm at 570, which is brilliant. I've built my own website for it. I've learned how to do so many technical things that I never had a clue how to do before. I've started this podcast, and I've met some really wonderful women who have totally confirmed that this is what I want to do now. Setbacks for me, I would say, have been access to funding. So I basically I was about to apply for some funding to get things off the ground, get some equipment to start the podcast, and there was a local authority that could help me with this, but I got so far with it and I just fell at the final hurdle for a number of reasons, mainly just not having the time. I was exhausted, sleep deprivation, I just couldn't quite finish it. So I decided just to park it for now. Another setback for me was that I've got a couple of digital products on my website that I designed, I spent ages on. I didn't quite have the interest or the uptake that I was hoping, which was disappointing. It did shake my confidence a little bit, but I thought, you know what, I'm leaving them on there because you never know. In time, I know from having Vintage Twee that things take time to gather momentum, to get seen on the internet, to get known and passed around. So I'm leaving them on there because I've got faith in my products and what I design and what I can do for people. So I'm not phased by it anymore. Okay, this is just something that Maybe didn't work the first time, but may work again in a few months' time. So reflect on what it is that you've achieved and what went a bit wrong was unexpected. And just put pen to paper, just so you can see it in black and white. And then you can carry on doing what works, and you can forget wasting time on the things that didn't work. Okay, so secondly, we need to be setting ourselves some clear, achievable goals for the new year. Just so you know exactly what it is that you want to focus on, you need a plan of attack. So a lot of people find it really hard to think of goals and then put them into tangible actions. So, they get what they want and they achieve them. But if you can write down sort of the things that things that are in your head that are going around that you want out of your next year when it comes to your business, what do you want to achieve? Because once you've written them down, you'll find that actually you'll be able to stick to them a lot more. So whatever your stumbling block is, I just want you to do one thing, and that is write it down, and seeing it there on the paper will make it achievable. So for me, for example, say you want to quit your day job in 2024 and you want to go full time with your business. Keep it realistic, keep it achievable. So your goal, don't write down that by the end of January, you'll have done a Bridget Jones, you would have left the office singing R-E-S-P-E-C-T, be earning £2,000 a month from your side hustle. It's not going to happen. Okay, be realistic, make it achievable, because if you don't, you're going to get disappointed and you'll most likely quit because you think it's not happening for you. So you want to break it down month by month, week by week, whatever works for you. So for example, for me, I would say okay, January, I'll start researching what it is that I want to do. What do I want to create? What do I want to sell or offer? Or, your product or your services. Have a summary of what it is that you actually want to do. In February, you may start making things or putting offers together for your services, actually putting some packages together so you've got something tangible to look at and go, yeah, this is what it is that I can do. March, you might do some market research. You might learn about Etsy or places to sell your work or your services. And April, you might start getting your stuff out there. You may make a couple of sales. So let it snowball. Having small, achievable steps will lead you to achieving that one big goal. And it will just make it so much more manageable. Especially, we've all got busy lifestyles. It's not possible for it to happen instantly. And it's why a lot of people fail or just give up. So give yourself these next 12 months and see how far you can get by breaking it down into manageable tasks. Ignore the pressure of other people. Just ignore them. If they're asking you, how many sales have you made? How's it going? How many customers have you got? Just ignore it. Trust in the process and just keep going. Reach out for help when you need it and stay focused on that one goal of the year. Because there's certain power in direction. I remember at uni, I did my psychology dissertation on something called implementation intentions. I'll always remember it, even though it was so boring. But I remember it because it was basically about how if you set yourself manageable targets and goals, and most importantly, write them down, actually commit to writing them down on paper, you're much more likely to achieve them and to succeed. So I always think about this whenever I'm doing something. I get myself a new notepad, like I say, or a new diary, whatever works for you. Maybe open up a Google Doc, whatever. But write down the small steps that you can take to get those wheels in motion. Thirdly, you need that all-in positive mindset to make it happen. Okay, now admittedly, I'm not the best at manifesting a positive mental attitude, mainly because, my life has just felt like challenge after challenge after challenge. And sometimes I can be, a little bit negative about things, but I'm making a conscious effort to just change this in 2024. Because the truth is, right, I don't know if it's divine intervention, power of positive thinking, or it's just sheer true grit. But things have always seemed to work out for me when I've 100% wanted them to. So there was a time last year that I just lost all enthusiasm for what I was doing with Vintage Tree. And, it happens sometimes when you've been doing it for so long. I hit various speed bumps along the way. We had COVID that just completely knocked the wedding and events industry on its backside. I had my daughter, so I was off for only 10 weeks actually, not even like 10 months like some people that take the full maternity leave. I couldn't do that, but I was off for, a few weeks. But then when I came back, obviously I was still tired. I couldn't put everything into it anymore like I used to do before I had her. I used to work like 14-hour days, 15-hour days, but I can't do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. So I had this point where I felt like I just honestly didn't want any orders to come in, or at least anything significant, because I was, so tired, suffering sleep deprivation, feeling demotivated, uncertain about the future. And honestly, my phone hardly ever beeped. The orders just didn't come in. And I had no money. And it was okay for a week or two because I had a bit of a mental break. But I remember just sitting there one day thinking, right, well, I can't go on like this. I have to change this mindset. I knew that I needed to work to pay the bills. I couldn't carry on like this. I couldn't just sit there thinking, oh God, I don't want to work anymore. What am I going to do in my life? Bills were stacking up and one wage wasn't enough to pay for them. So I knew that I had to do something. So I did start thinking more positively. I got my focus back and I carried on. And sometimes, I just prayed for work on those months because my husband was made redundant. So he was out of work for a while, and it was at a time when I had no wedding and event orders. So I just used to really hope and pray that something would come in. After all the negative thinking that I'd done, I started thinking really positive, thinking, actually, I really want this. I want to get this going again. And then by complete random chance, a massive order came in for me. And it literally saved us that month and the next. It paid the mortgage, it paid all the bills, and it actually gave me that motivation that I needed to carry on. And it's been the same with Her Handmade Hustle, if I'm honest. I've given 1,000% to it, and it has grown in 6 months. So if you don't do that and you're only thinking, oh, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? I'm not sure I want it to work. Do I want it to work? And you're questioning yourself all the time. It probably won't. So you have to have that positive mindset that it is going to work. And you have to channel those thoughts and truly see yourself living the life that you want. So, for me, I think about changing my workspace and setting up a little Her Handmade Hustle office. I try and visualise my success, which is another way to manifest those positive vibes. Think about creating a vivid mental image of how you want your life to look and be really specific about it. What does a typical day look like for you doing what it is that you want to do? What do you wear? Are you able to go on holiday as a result of it? Really think about what you want your life to look like, and it can really boost your motivation and make success feel so much more attainable. I know for me, I want to move out of the room that I'm in now in my house where my vintage studio is set up, and I want to make that into my bedroom, and I want my daughter to have my current bedroom so that I can have her room as my office, so I can sort of see how I want my life to look as a result of working hard and being successful at what it is that I want to do. So the same will be for you. Really think about where you want to be in a year's time. Really think about it hard and try and embody that image in your mind, emblazon it on in there, so that you think about it all the time, because it will really help propel you forward into getting to where you want to be. And staying positive in the event of challenges, personal or professional, it's hard because we've all got so much stuff going on in our lives, and it can be difficult. It can really affect your ability to sort of give something 100% and give it your all. But we have to remember that, it's part of life, it's part of learning. Nothing comes easy, not for many of us at least. So if you expect or anticipate some speed bumps, or learning curves, knocks to your confidence, you can be better emotionally equipped to deal with them when they come along, and it won't put you off, won't make you think, oh, I can't do this, So maybe you're just not quite ready, and you'll take that step when you feel a bit more able. Or maybe you're like me and you just go all in and you figure out, dealing with the other stuff that's going on in your life as and when you need to. But staying positive And having that self-belief is just one of the most important determining factors of making it as an entrepreneur. Well, I think so anyway, because that's just what it takes to succeed. It's like, it's true grit. It is absolute true grit. And as the new year looms, we've all got things going on in our minds that we know 2024 is going to bring. It's going to truly test our ability to stay positive and believe in ourselves. For me, it's a big year. So I started Her Handmade Hustle in August after my 40th birthday. My plan is to grow it into a fully fledged coaching business for normal women, normal women like me and you. So it's stressed out mums, women looking for a career change, women that want to chase their dream, people that finally realise that it's their time to do something for them, and women who just need some help and confidence and guidance to show them how to do it. Just so you don't feel alone or confused or scared or unsure. I want to be that person. I want to be that person in their lives who they know will help them find a way to succeed no matter what. And just be that constant source of support and encouragement, because we need it. We need that person in our lives. Partners are all well and good. Of course, they're supportive. But somebody who's been in your shoes and knows exactly how you feel, it's the key to making it work, because that way, you've got someone in your corner who you can offload to. They're there for you as a source of support all the time, and knowledge and backup. It's like having someone in your pocket that will be there, and you can just pick them out when you need them and ask them the question that's keeping you awake at night, and just help grow your confidence. So ultimately you achieve what it is that you want to do, which is make a living from your business, So that's my goal. I want to get, in 2024, as many women as possible from doing what they have to do, whether it be a full-time job working in an office or whatever else, to doing what it is that they want to do. But I also have a massive challenge ahead of me in 2024, which I know is going to slow me down in this mission. But I'm determined it's not going to stop me, and I'll still get my business established. It's possibly going to be one of the biggest challenges that I'll ever face, and I never thought I'd talk about it on a podcast episode where anyone and his wife can listen. But actually, it does feel easier than talking about it to a real person. So back when I was pregnant, around 5 years ago now, me and my sister found out that we've got basically a genetic mutation to one of the genes in our bodies called the BRCA2 gene, which it's basically massively increases our risk of breast and ovarian cancer. So some of you may know that my mum did die from breast cancer, and other members of the family too, which is what prompted our genetic testing. We always promised her that we would do it, and we'd continue to do it after we found out that she was poorly. But we discovered actually that the dodgy gene, as we like to call it, came from my dad's side. So our lifetime risk of breast cancer and ovarian cancer is like crazy high. And we both made the decision, both me and my sister, to have preventative surgery, so that we hopefully can drastically reduce our chances of ever getting the disease. And that's going to be in the form of a double mastectomy and the removal of our ovaries. So my sister is actually on the other side of the breast operation now. She's had hers done at Easter this year, and she's got her ovary one upcoming in the next couple of weeks. It's been a bit slower up north here, so I'm on the wait list. I'm due to be called early summer in 2024 for the first of my 2 surgeries, which is going to be the double mastectomy. Honestly, I don't know how I'll manage, something that I do find difficult to talk about, but I do know that I want to be here in the future for my daughter and my family. And I also know that I really want to be a successful business coach for women out there who need someone like me, someone real and honest and so devoted to getting them the life that they want to live. Because let's face it, we don't know what's around the corner, and we don't know if there's any more time to wait. There isn't any more time to wait. You have to do it now. There's never going to be a right time. You know, your ducks will never all be in a row and you'll never feel ready and certain to do it. But while you have time, you know, that is while you're alive and you're well and you're able, you can start. So sometimes you don't even have any ducks to actually get in a row, but it doesn't matter because they'll come if you just start doing it. And as for being ready and certain, God, are we ever? You know, are we ever ready and certain to do anything? You know, and I'm not going to let these 2 surgeries stop me from making my business soar in 2024. So I might be down for a little while, but I'm not going to be out. You know, I'm going to work with as many wonderful women as I can before my surgery to help them get started on the path to success. And for the time that I'm on the bench, I'll make sure that they've got a solid plan of action just to support them until I'm back in the game. You know, I'm still going to be able to email and text people and eventually I'll be able to Zoom them during my recovery. And, you know, in one way, it would be better being a business coach in this situation than running Vintage Tree because I don't physically have to be able to make anything, go to the post office, you know, run a business that way. So it'll be much easier for me to manage. And, you know, I think I'm going to need this level of normality of talking to other women and keeping up doing what I'm already doing because those women are probably going to be helping me as much as I'm helping them anyway. You know, they're going to keep me sane during what's going to be a long recovery for me. So my point is this: if you really, really want to succeed in running a business and working for yourself, you'll do it no matter what. You know, no matter what. I am hoping that people won't give up on me next year. If I am out of the game for 3 months, like I say, I will still be around. I'll still be able to help. I'm going to equip them with everything that they need to get by while I'm not, you know, available as such. But I know that I want this business to work, so I'm going to give it as much as I can to make that happen in 2024. These surgeries are not going to dictate my future. And yeah, basically, no, I'm not going to get emotional about it. I'm just going to say that it's going to happen and I'm going to do it. So if you're feeling a little bit nervous or anxious about the year ahead and how you're going to get from, you know, where you are now to where you want to be, you might want to consider having someone by your side to help make it happen for you and with you, you know, someone who's going to cheer you on, but also got the knowledge and the experience to guide you, get the results you want, you know, quicker because, you know, think about where you want to be and how you want to get there. And, you know, whether it's me or somebody else, someone who you resonate more with, you do have to find the right person, the right fit for you. Someone who understands, you know, where you are, understands your pain points and frustrations, someone that's inspiring to you, makes you feel motivated and excited. You've got to find that right person if you want to invest in yourself and your business to make it happen. My sister told me a story actually when she was just here at Christmas, and it made me laugh about somebody that contacted her from, I think it was a social media marketing company. And obviously he was after business to run the social media side of her company because she has her own business too. And he was asking her, he's only like some young lad, and he was like, why do you not, I've just noticed you don't post on LinkedIn every day. Is there a reason why? And she said that, you know, she was on a Zoom call with him, and she just said, the reason why is because I've got 3 kids, you know, I've got my own business. She said, I have no time. I cannot post every single day. It's impossible. And she said that, you know, the call lasted about 15 minutes and then she never heard from him again because he obviously realised that they weren't the right fit. And she needed someone that's going to understand her and where she was coming from, and it just wasn't him. So that made me laugh because it made me think about business coaching and how you need someone that completely understands what it is that you want to achieve, your lifestyle, you know, and we'll work with that. It's flexible. Like I say, whether it's me or somebody else, and if something that you're interested in, I would definitely look into finding the right person that you trust. So as we head into 2024, I want you to feel those butterflies in your tummy, you know, as you think about the opportunities that are waiting for you there to grab them. Little flutters of excitement, anticipation, hope, possibility, change, abundance, all these things, they're all there for the taking. I'm excited to go into the new year. I've got some new clients, some wonderful women that I've met over the last few months who have chose me to help them with their business and get it off to a flying start next year. So thank you. And I promise to be there for them at every step of the way. And, you know, the idea that I can make somebody's dreams happen is everything to me. And that's where my passion lies. And that's why I'm not going to quit next year, regardless of what life throws at me, you know. I'm going to do it. And so are you. You are going to do it too. So if you are interested in any coaching, I do have a website. You can have a look at the sort of things that I can offer. If you're thinking about it, you can also book a discovery call on there with me, a half-hour chat to see if we're a good fit, if it's something that you'd be interested in. And yeah, I'm there. I'm here. This is not a sales pitch. I just want to let you know that I am here to help. And I really hope that there are some people out there that think that, they're getting to know me as well through the podcast. And they can see me working with them on their business and taking it to the next level. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today, really. I hope it's given you some motivation, some inspiration ready for the new year, sort of allayed those fears that you may be having, the anxiety that's coming up. Now the clock's ticking. I say I hate this bit now, and it's like the run up to midnight. Like I say, I'll be in bed. I'll be having my curry and getting to bed. Or I'll be up with the 4-year-old. Probably that, actually. I don't think it's going to be a peaceful night. Never is. But, a happy new year to everyone who's listening. I'm excited in the new year. So in January, I'm going to be doing my new mini-series. So next month is going to be my new mini-series called The Creative She CEO. And it's going to be a 4-part series on how to launch a creative business. So there'll be an episode a week on different things, tackling everything from, finding your tribe. So who are your target audience and identifying them, where to find them. We'll be looking at pricing, charging confidently so you can make a profit. We'll be looking at places to sell your work or your services, digital storefronts and otherwise, and looking at getting seen and sold, both online and offline advertising and ways to get noticed. So that's all what's coming. You can sign up for my newsletter via the website. I'll put a link to it in the show notes, and that will have lots of information about the Creative She CEO mini-series. So do make sure that you sign up for that to find out about it. And you can follow my podcast to make sure that you get alerted when I upload the episodes as well. So that all being said, I wish you all a happy new year, whatever it is that you're doing to celebrate. And I'm so excited for next year. No nerves, let's go into this feeling positive, feeling confident that we're going to achieve the life that we want, doing something that we love. So however you're celebrating tonight, enjoy yourselves and go into 2024 with that confidence that you can totally do this. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the other side.